Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Gena Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. Are you someone who is so intrigued by spirituality, wanting to learn more about all the different facets, wanting to enhance your spiritual gifts, your soul gifts, your intuitive muscle? This has been coming up so frequently in my client sessions and community comments and conversations. And it's come to a point where I just said, I need to create something for you guys. So I created the spiritual school where we help you develop your spiritual muscle to enhance your health, well-being, and get you on your soul's path and purpose using your unique soul gifts. Whether you want to develop your soul gifts to help yourself or you want to bring those to light to help the world and develop a business from it, this masterclass series is 100% for you. One of the buckets that we teach about in holistic human performance is spirituality. This is our innate wisdom within each of us that there's something greater than us helping us along the journey. And our soul connection to that is a vital force that helps us on our own soul's purpose and mission here on earth. When this is ignored, we then have trouble facing our challenges, adversity, and we go against our innate wisdom, which in turn can create physical disease in the body. So throughout these 5 weeks, we are going to take a deep dive into developing your spiritual muscle, your intuition, and how to integrate this into your daily life. Because remember, this is a lifestyle. This is not something that you just do once in a blue moon. This is a complete lifestyle change, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. So we start these live stream classes each week starting March 24th, and each week will be live and we'll be able to catch the replays. So if you are ready to take a deep dive into spirituality and developing your soul gifts, I invite you to the spiritual school. I'll put the link in the show notes. You can also find this right inside of the Holistic Human Performance app, which you can get on Apple and Google Play. See you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Gena Bradshaw Vitale, and today we got a solo episode. We're going into it today. This is something that has been coming up a lot for me and something that is very much needed to be said, and I'm really excited to dive into it. So we're going to be talking about spiritual bypassing versus our humanness. And I find that I did this a little bit, but I kind of also am very much grounded in my emotional state, like just because of what I went through and having like the mental fortitude to kind of call out bullshit from different like coaches and mentors and healers. And, not to say that I've had good experiences and I've had not so good experiences, but it also taught me so much when it comes to your own spiritual awakening, your spiritual journey. Spirituality has completely changed my life. It is different than religion, and I do talk about this a lot. Religion was made by the people for the people. Spirituality is the innate knowing and wisdom that there is something greater than you. It is internal. It is something that our spirit, our soul has connection to. And when we come this is what I believe. When we come into this lifetime, we have amnesia and we forget all about what our soul's mission and purpose is, what we came to heal, to do, what our lessons are. And so I grew up I always believed in God. I believe in God. That's it. You're not changing like that. I just know there is something greater than us, right? You can interchange that. I have worked with clients who have religious trauma and they get triggered by the word God. So, or whatever cultural you grew up in, God, Buddha, universe, source, whatever you want to put in there, go for it, right? It's really just this knowing that there is something greater. And I talk about this a lot. Um, there is neuroscience to spirituality, and there is a docking system in our brains for spirituality, and it's neuroprotective, which means when you have this faith, this belief in something greater than you, and that all will be okay no matter what adversity and challenge you're going through, no matter how hard, how dark, how low, you know that you are still guided, protected, and have faith. It literally protects your brain from disease, anxiety, depression, uh, Alzheimer's, dementia. And this is by the work of Dr. Lisa Miller. I highly recommend looking this up. And, when you learn about that and you know that there's so much more going on, that you're in this macrocosm, but you are in the microcosm. So you're a part of something so much greater. And just like one action, one thought, one relationship, it just trickles out into the collective, no matter how small. You may not even consciously be aware of it, but it does ripple out. And so I want to talk about spiritual bypassing because it has to do, and I talk a lot about the body code, the emotion code, emotional mastery, emotional intelligence. If we don't have a handle on our emotions, this can cause a lot of disruption down the road and can pose some type of disease. Okay. So we have this whole spectrum of emotions. And I talk a lot about this. I do a whole lesson on this inside of the Metaphysics Your Health course. And this is a spectrum from what one considers low vibration emotions to high vibration emotions. So, love, gratitude, awe, you have these meta emotions, you have those lower vibrations emotions like jealousy, envy, hatred, all these things. However, what spiritual bypassing is literally bypassing the emotions that you're being told, oh, don't feel anger or don't feel sad, don't feel grief, because then you're not in love and light. And that's a bunch of bullshit. And those teachers, those mentors, those gurus, and by the way, if anybody's calling themselves a guru, run the other way. Those individuals are really just causing more harm than anything. However, obviously, we go through these lessons and, these situations, and you go through you learn from these individuals for a reason. So it is what it is. However, spiritual bypassing is literally when you're bypassing your emotions and you're suppressing them so much that it actually causes more harm than good, because this whole love and light thing is thought to be the only thing of spirituality. And that is so far from the truth. There cannot be light without darkness. It just is not, excuse me, it is not possible. I can look back on my life and I'm young. I've been through so much darkness in my life and near death experience, facing death, and it's still comes up for me. Like, I always have this conversation with my clients, like, they're like, oh, like, I can't believe I'm still feeling this, or I'm like, it's okay. It's okay to feel, right? What we don't want, and Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about this, and I talk about this in my first book, A Survivor Story, is this gap. So it's who we are and how we perceive ourselves to the world. And the further that gap is between the two, the more that you are not living in your authenticity and you're basically allowing your emotions to take hold, right? You're becoming the identity of your emotions. So even happiness, right? Like, I'm a happy person, but it doesn't mean I'm happy all the time. But you could also feel anger and still be in joy and love. So there's a spectrum. Think of all the emotions that you go through in one day. Like, just think about that. It's so wild to experience. And so, even in an hour, I mean, each thought evokes an emotional really a physiological concoction in the body, a biochemical concoction that is a feeling and evokes this emotion, this what we feel in the body, the emotional reaction. And each one again creates this feeling in the body and how the nervous system reacts and how we react or are we responding. And again, what these teachers and mentors and healers, a lot of what I'm seeing is you need to stay in love and light or you're not going to manifest all the things you want in life. And again, that's a load of bullshit. So I wanted to talk a lot about that. The key is to feel in order to heal. We need to feel the depths of our emotions of what is coming up. If not, it's going to continue coming up, right? So if we're continuously being triggered by the same thing, just in different circumstances, in different forms, that's the same lesson coming up that you have not learned, you have not grasped, you have not healed. And so it's coming up for a reason, and the body's saying, hey, we want to get rid of this. Like, we don't want this to become your identity, right? You don't want to become the sad woman, the angry woman. That's not your identity. We don't want to become the emotion, right? We want to feel. That's part of the human nature. We live in a 3D reality. We're not up in the clouds, right? Yes. Do we have mystical experiences? Do we have gifts? Do we have connection to the spirit world? Do we have connection to source? Absolutely. Okay, that's part of the spirituality aspect, but we also live in a 3D reality and we need to ground that in and we need to be able to feel in order to heal, okay? And we need to sit with the shadow self. The it's that is part of healing. That's part of doing the inner work, right? And that's where the tools come in. The journaling, the breath work, nervous system regulation, somatics, movement, nature. Like, think of what our ancestors did. They had nature all around them, right? They had all of these simple tools. And now there's so much in our face that it's almost like a modernized spirituality that has kind of it's almost like a cult. Honestly, it is kind of a cult. You know, I did it this way, so this is going to help you. Every single person has a different experience, and some things work for some people, other things work for other people. Are there foundational things to health, healing, and wellness? Absolutely. But the way you go about it will determine based off you, your energy type, where you're at in life, what your nervous system can handle. Like, the body will tell you what you need, and that's part of your intuition, going within your inner world to see what's going on here. What am I feeling? Do I feel unsafe? If you feel so unsafe, like, there's no way that you're going to be able to be with yourself. You're going to have to do some nervous system regulation stuff before you go deep into that, because again, if you've had a really traumatic big T trauma experience as a child and it's coming up for you later on in life, there's a reason why it was blocked out for such a long time, and now the body's like, we can deal with this now. It's coming up later in life because we can deal with this now. um so that's something that we want to always be aware of. And again, we spirituality is something to be grounded into this 3D reality. Like, we're humans for a reason. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and the key is to remember what we are here to do on your personal soul journey and purpose. And it's in the here and now. So this adoption of the love and light persona only, it just creates dissociation and it diminishes the shadow element of the psyche. And when we diminish that, it's creating suppression and repression, which has connection to our conscious and subconscious mind. And what we need to lean into is authentic healing, right? We hear this word authenticity all the time. It's very important. We need to be authentic with ourselves, how we show up, how we are. And it's part of healing. All of our emotions are sacred and they all teach us wisdom. They have some type of medicine that we need to learn from. So, for example, as I'm recording this, I'm currently pregnant and I'm a little bit more heightened and sensitive to certain things. And, I've had, if you heard in, I think it was episode 114, I spoke about my pregnancy journey and how triggering it's been because my own personal health history of going to all these doctors and my experience thus far. And right now I'm at a better point, but I still had to do that work. Like it was like I was hysterically crying at some points. Like I was in shambles. But I also was like, I need to sit with this. I need to work on this. I need to heal this wound. I thought I worked on it, but it's like peeling back the onion. I had to work on a deeper layer. So those emotions of being triggered, being angry, being frustrated, being like sad, honestly, hopelessness was coming up for me. I had to work on that because if not, it's kind of unfortunately carrying a child, it's being encoded into the baby, and we don't want that. So I'm working on that. So I'm healing 7 generations forward and 7 generations backward. So I'm not carrying on this trait. Okay. And, sometimes when you work on these things, sometimes that inner work, it works overnight. Sometimes it takes years, depending on if it's big T trauma or little t trauma. So this is something that was very much on my heart because I'm seeing it all over the place. Our emotions are very sacred and there's a spectrum of them, and they're not negative, they're not bad. It's just your body showing you the medicine, like anger, right? Anger, there is a subcategory of emotions underneath anger. That's deep hurt. That's sadness. So someone who doesn't cry a lot and you experience a lot of anger, that's hurt and sadness that you have not, and grief that you have not expressed, that you have not let out, that you have not released from your body and energetic field. And so the anger is showing you the medicine of what you need to work on. There are certain tools. For example, I have a breath work for anger inside of the Holistic Human Performance app. You could try that out. There's different tools that you can use, but the key is to know what's going to help you. There's so many tools out there. It's like, what's going to help you? Personally, for me, I believe that the body-based tools are what helps people out the most. So tapping, breath work, somatic movement, somatic healing, the body is what keeps the score. And so when you can work on that, that's how, again, like our organs, our fascia, our skeletal system, our muscular system, all of our systems, our endocrine system, like it's imprinted. Those, if you don't work on it, it gets repressed and lodged into the body and creates stagnation. And that emotional, energetic imprint is now stuck in our fascia, in our bodies. And it's our job to do that inner work and that inner healing of maybe you're doing shadow work in terms of maybe you're doing inner child healing, okay? Maybe you have to do some inner teenager work. It depends. But the body will show you what you need to work on. And odds are you're probably getting those nudges. You're just ignoring them. And you just suppress, 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 ignore, ignore, ignore. And then, you're being taught that it's only love and light, you're a bad person for feeling these things. No, you have to go to the darkness, meeting your shadow work, and that light then enters the wounds. And that is what creates that inner healing. And that is true, authentic healing. Being honest and open with your humanness. Like, hey, this is what I'm feeling today. I'm not trying to put this on other people, but this is what I'm feeling. I honor my emotions. I honor what's coming up. I honor this trigger. I honor how I'm feeling. And you utilize whatever tool. My goal for everyone is to kind of just sit with that and be like, what do I need, body? Like, what do I need in this moment, in this time? Boom, the answer comes to you. And that is really heavily what I teach my clients, students, and community. And so I hope this helps you view spirituality in a different way, because it has completely changed my life. And when we can view it in a way that's not connected to religion, and it's connected to just like this higher power of, it's all working out for you, and it's, God, universe, source always has your back. It's working out for your best and highest good, for the highest good of all. That is something that I always come back to when I'm struggling in my own shit and need to come back and say, okay, hold on, hold on. When we go into that why me victimhood consciousness, all right, let's regroup here. Let's look at what is actually happening here and why this is coming up. So that is something that we want to lean into. And again, we can't have light without the darkness. So shine your light bright and know that everything's cool. And at the end of the day, it's always working out for you. The key is to be authentic with it, to be real, to be raw, to be vulnerable, to honor it, and know that whatever you're going through, there's wisdom that comes out on the other side. It's going to teach you whatever it is. And so I hope this helps. And if you need opportunities, you need a little bit more support, I do have one-on-one coaching and healings available. And also this was highly requested. Um, I will be starting this masterclass series on March 24th. It's called The Spiritual School. It's going to be a 5-week series. We'll meet once a week. And each week we're going to be going over different aspects of spirituality and energetics, because again, this is very much being intuitively put onto my heart. This is a very, and also I've been hearing it a lot with my clients, students, and community, of like training the spiritual muscle. And I think this is a huge part of healing that's real, that's raw. And we are going to be speaking about the dark side of spirituality, spiritual bypassing, how to cleanse and protect your energy, because all of these things will help you with your health, your well-being, and to transform your life on a level you couldn't even imagine. And not only that, it will help develop your soul's mission and purpose to get back on the path, or to create more clarity with where you're headed, where you're going, what your desires are, and to utilize spirituality to help you on any level of life that you're on. And this is something that's going to be so profound. And I'm so excited, because not only that, it's going to help you develop your intuitive spiritual gifts, your soul gifts. And who doesn't want, like, that's amazing. That is you and only you have a soul gift. My soul gift, different from your soul gift. And when you can lean into that and you develop that, no matter what challenges, adversity, scary times that you're going through in life, you will choose to lean more into faith than fear. And when you are leaning into fear, you will have the tools to work on that and not stay there, and be able to uprise, uplift, and say, okay, what do I need to work on? Go internal, go to your inner world. And that helps to change your external world and your viewpoint. So I'm very excited about that. I'll put that all in the show notes. Again, we start March 24th. I'm going to do live stream. You'll also get the replay. And then if you need any type of coaching, I have 3 different options to work with me. And then also, the cool part about the coaching is you have full access to the HHP app. If not, you can just become a member. You can get a 5-day free trial and try out the app, see if you like it, see if these tools work for you. You get access to all of the programs, live stream classes, all the 300 plus library of videos, workouts, meditations, breath work, tapping, all of the holistic healing tools that will help transform your life. So I hope this helps. Let's talk soon. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.